Hello and welcome to this game pit stop for Fuji, designed by Wolfgang Warsch, published by Feuerland, Spiele and Cranio creations. Fuji is a cooperative game in which 2 to 4 players are going to take the role of explorers who have been climbing Mount Fuji and they've been unexpectedly caught out by the fact that it has erupted, and they're going to try and make their way down to the village down here, and if all the players make it to the village on a turn, then they've won. However, if any of them get caught by the expanding lava or run out of stamina, then that is game over for everyone. Now, each round is played over 6 phases, and in the first phase, everyone takes the dice. They're going to have 5 or 6 according to their character, and they roll them. Now, this is done secretly behind their own screen, and they're not going to be allowed to explicitly tell the other players what they've rolled, which you'll see why that's important, and we don't reveal these dice until phase 5. When a player has their dice, they're then going to look at the movement options available to them for this turn, and each player has got a destination marker, and they can move a maximum of 3 spaces during their turn. So they're going to look orthogonally and count up to 3 spaces. It's easier to move shorter distances, and they're going to choose, that's where I wish to go this turn. And having a conversation, that is phase 2, and there are also certain equipment cards you can use during this phase 2, but the biggest part of it is each player choosing where they are trying to get to in order to avoid the lava this turn. You can choose where another player already is, but if you wish to choose the same destination as another player, you cannot be sitting adjacent to each other, because the dice of the adjacent players is what's going to affect whether you can move or not in this game. Now, in the third phase, players get rerolls. The number of rerolls you get is dependent upon how far you're attempting to move on this turn. In this case, the purple player is trying to move the maximum 3. They don't get any rerolls. They are stuck with this unless they use equipment or other bits and bobs. If you're trying to move 2 spaces like the others, you get 1 reroll. And if anyone just wanted to stay where they are, they would get 2 rerolls. And even though they're staying where they are, they still have to do the correct thing with their dice. Otherwise, they're going to lose more stamina. Once everyone has done their rerolls, we then get into the 4th phase, and the 4th phase is simply looking at the equipment that all the players have got and discussing, again without deciding or saying what's on your dice, whether any of this equipment needs using to make the players be able to move successfully. Once you've done that discussion and used the equipment, you're going to whip away those screens and everyone can see the dice, and then you're going to check and see whether each player is going to be able to move successfully. Now, you look at the destination requirements for the space in which they're trying to get to, and you check and see whether they have done that more successfully than the players either side of them. Now, in this case, purple is trying to get a higher total in odd blues, and it's always a higher total of the valid dice, so a higher total in odd blues than the players either side. So green has got no odd blues, and neither has black, so purple's going to be able to make that move, and they can jump all the way across there, and that one has been successful. Blue, for example, is trying to get a higher total of 1s, 2s and 3s on yellow. They haven't done very well. They haven't got any here. Neither of the players either side, but that doesn't matter. Blue has not been able to achieve their goal. Therefore, they do not move and they stay where they are. And the other 2 players, or however many are playing, are going to check theirs and move accordingly. The next thing they're going to do is they're going to check how successful they were at completing their task. Now, when it comes to purple here, purple with the odd blues was 3 higher than anyone at either side of them. And when you look at this, and there are 4 different levels at which you can play the game, and there are 7 different setups of the maps, but for being 3 more successful than either side of them, that means they're only going to lose 1 stamina, and they're going to move 1 space down on this track. Blue, for example, couldn't move at all, so they take the maximum penalty, and they're going to move 3 spaces down on this track. Now, this stamina track, as well as being, if anyone ever hits the end space, it's game over for everyone. Also, as you go along, you're going to come to these injury areas, and when you get injured, you have to take one of 4 different injury tokens, and they're going to have various effects on you, like you're unable to use equipment cards, you lose your rerolls, you lose a die, or you lose your special ability, because each of the players gets given a particular character at the beginning of the game with special abilities. For example, the survivalist always has an extra reroll, or the gatherer here can give up rerolls and collect power bars, and you can use them to add to your dice total before you're going to be moving. When you do move, there are a couple of things you can trigger on the board. There are these equipment tokens. When you land on an equipment token, you just draw another piece of equipment from the draw pile, you put it face up so everyone can see and discuss it. The first time a player goes over or onto one of these eruption tokens, you know you're going to have a double eruption at the end of that turn. Now, I hope black and green were able to move, because the last thing in the phase 6 is we're going to have an eruption. We've triggered a double one here. An eruption means that Any tile that's orthogonally adjacent to lava that's already in play gets flipped over. If there are any players caught on those tiles, then again, it's game over and we'll trigger the double one, so this lava is going to spread again. So we know the ways in which the players can lose, get caught by lava or lose all their stamina. And just to reiterate, all the players have to be on these yellow end village tiles at the end of the game for them to be victorious in the game off Fuji. This has been a Game Pit Stop. For more videos like this, check out our YouTube channel. For more in-depth coverage of gaming, please check out the Game Pit podcast. Thanks.